Yes, so tonight, starting about 8 o'clock, we have the interview with Clout FYP. Let's go. Treasure boxes going up, guys. Let's go. Emmy, thank you. Thank you, Emmy. Hopefully this year I absolutely love Stranger Things. Thank you guys for keep tapping there. Now if you go down the bottom where that arrow is, let's get that number to about 15. Share this live out, please.
Come on, baby. Come on, darling. Let me steal this moment from you now. Come on, angel. Come on, darling. Let's exchange the experience.
Guys, if you're excited for this, vote smiley face. Let's go.
And I'd get them to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, with no problems. Saying if I only could, I'd make a deal with God. And I'd get them to swap our places. Be running up that road.
Hitting that emoji's totally free. Give us a shout. Treasure box is opening, guys. Let's go. Hey, hi, the most productive thing I've done today is put stickers on a suitcase. I really do feel like this could potentially top that. This could potentially top it with productiveness. So Clout FYP is going to jump in my box, which is not as saucy as it sounds, and ask me some questions. I suppose I'm going to try my best to answer every single one. Let's fucking get going. Well, hello.
Hello, Fats, and hello, chat.
How's it going?
Good. How's everyone?
They say they're great.
Yeah. Right. So, are you ready for this?
Well, I'm a little bit scared now.
Oh, can you give me a hand and say I'll tell the truth and the whole truth?
I'll tell the truth and the whole truth. Sounds like a Spock thing going on there.
Well, okay, so there's mixtures of TikTok-related questions. There's mixtures of outside of TikTok, if that's okay.
Okay.
Is that better in chat?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Okay, are you quiet or is it just me? Yeah, you're slightly muffled.
Muffled? Is it still muffled? I've got a bit of cold.
Oh, you got a bit of a cold, nightmare?
Yeah. So they might hang on a minute. Is that better?
That's better. I think that's better. Chat, do you think that's better?
Oh, that was my charger I had to pull out.
Yeah, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. You can't help it if you've got cold either, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so question number 1. What made you come to TikTok, and was your idea always about awarenesses and exposure?
No, well, no, it wasn't. I came onto TikTok during lockdown, like a lot of people, and originally I did fact videos, hence the fact freak thing. So I wanted to learn as many facts as I could, and I used to make videos where I'd say like, this is 10 interesting facts on whatever, and then people would comment and say, can you do it about this subject? And then I would reply and do a video. And I was never here originally to do awareness. It sort of moved that way.
Is it a fan?
Sorry?
Is it the fan they're saying, are you covering a microphone or a fan? I've not got my microphone covered.
Is that any better for anybody? Is anybody hearing anything?
Is that better?
That's a little bit better. I can hear you perfectly. I mean, it's a bit muffled at times, but...
Right, what I'll do is I'll drop down and restart.
Right, okay, yeah, no problem. We'll try that. Alright then.
Oh, do I click?
There you go. Not me, the lady. Right, no bother. I'll just wait for it to do a restart or whatever. Not easy when you got cold and shit like that. Could do, Babalusha. There's the noise in my background because I've got a fan on over here. Maybe it's it's usually on, like nobody can usually hear it. It's a mic issue. Oops, except. Pardon me.
Is that better?
I can hear you. Can everybody else hear you?
No, not you. No, I've not got any mic covered. Is that not any better? I know you can hear the fact. No, there's no earphones in.
I thought that was a lot better. Chat's saying it's a lot better. Could you try again? Speak.
Is that better?
Is everyone happy with that, yeah? Looks like everyone's happy with that.
Oh, okay. So we got that question. How do you decide what topics to bring awareness to?
It's quite difficult. I try and prioritise serious offenders, and I also try and prioritise stuff that obviously can be proved. You know, like do opinion-based awareness, which I've done before, but if somebody comes to me and says they have evidence of a convicted PDF on the app or something like that, I'll try and focus on that. But also there's a lot of people in the awareness community, so if I find that people are covering or doing a good job of covering somebody, I might then move on to another person, if that makes sense, because somebody else is already doing it, and I'll repost their stuff and everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, what you do is amazing, but a question is, would you like to see more FYP hosts covering awarenesses in their live?
Yes. I mean, I think everyone would, because I'd like to get more exposure. Obviously, exposure is key in awareness. But I also understand that not everybody wants to see some of the things that I could be potentially talking about in their like little gossip FYP show or whatever, which I totally get, because it can be extremely triggering. But as a whole, even if just FYP hosts or creators with large following just reposted awareness videos, I have
Yeah.
to speak about it, but they can push it out to an audience, you know.
Yeah, that I think would be good. What keeps you motivated to continue doing awareness live?
It's a kind of a weird one, like, you know, Spider-Man in it, with great power becomes great responsibility, or whatever the hell it is. Like, for whatever reason, people listen to me, and have listened to me for a long time, so I do feel like a little bit like I shouldn't packet it. Like, if people are going to listen to me, I sort of lending my voice to people. So it keeps me motivated. I did take time out at one point. I've taken, you know, like I take mental health breaks like anybody else, which I encourage. And, you know, just like the last year, I've done like reactions and stuff, like a bit more lighter hearted content amongst it all kind of helps.
Yeah. So do you ever feel pressured into doing those kind of live?
No. No, people do try and pressure me into doing what they would like me to do, or speak on the particular creator or whoever it else. People try and do that quite a lot. But they don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel backed. I've never been made to do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The phone is struggling to. Is that better? The sound is muffled. Is that any better?
That was louder for me. I don't know about everybody else. Thank you. It's up and down. Can you guys... I can hear the questions. I'm answering the questions. Does it make sense to everybody in the chat what we're talking about? Sometimes you just got to kind of roll with it.
Yeah. How's that now? I don't have boxes open. No, I've got... Yeah.
Can you not go live and then just request not to battle you, but to join you like a battle, but not battle?
I don't have the boxes open.
Ah, right, okay.
So, is that better? Right, I'll do the next question, tell me if you hear it. What's the hardest part about exposing the truth?
Did you guys hear that question? It's really crackly. Yes, I heard it. Didn't hear the last two words. You could ask the question. I could repeat the question and answer it, but it's a bit weird. That just sound like I'm interviewing myself. But yeah, that's what you said, wasn't it? What's the hardest part about exposing the truth?
Yes, that's what I said, Queen.
I mean, to be fair, well, I don't know, because my brain kind of works in a very like black and white sort of manner with things. So if somebody's bullshitting and I know they're bullshitting and I can prove they're bullshitting, it's very hard for me to just walk away from that, depending on the situation. So I don't necessarily find it hard. I mean, people don't like, I think, that I can be so black and white with stuff like that. I get that sort of vibe from people now and again. But I wouldn't consider it to be hard for me, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so, hang on a minute. Do you ever get a lot of backlash from your awarenesses?
Yeah, I get backlash. I get backlash all the time. I mean, there's two groups of people. I don't know whether the groups still exist. Was it the Click and the Rat Pack? People like that, for example. If I speak about a creator in one of their little groups, you know what I mean, they get upset and say, well, why doesn't he speak about this, or why do we... People often say that sort of crap all the time without actually looking at all of my content and understanding that I do speak about these people. So I do get backlash, but I get backlash of people like Delusive Angie, who I couldn't give a flying fuck about, you know what I mean? And I get backlash of people like Princess Flu and Jade Palmer and Convicted Wrong'uns, which sometimes I like when I get a little bit a backlash from people like I've exposed, like convicted people, because I like getting on under their skin and I like irritating them. So
what's one of the most shocking things you've uncovered while doing an awareness?
Well, I always said, and I've always said it, that the deep dive I did into Holly Stanley was quite wild for me. For those people who don't know, Holly Stanley was a trans creator on the app who was always getting accused, like that people thought they were wrong and they'd done XYZ. And somebody had approached me and they had an email off a court saying that they had committed crimes against children, shall we say. We'll try and keep it. Thank you. And of course, I then had to verify that email was legit, that it wasn't a load of rubbish. And I recorded the call I made to the court, and when they read out the charges, some of the charges were absolutely horrific. And I wasn't going to include in the deep dive like as much of the phone call as I did, because I look like a clip. I broke my glasses, one of my legs and my glasses were sellotaped together. I looked like an absolute mess. But I was like, you could see it all over in my face about how horrific it was and everything, and I was like, it's important that people see that for the gravity of it. That's horrific. That was quite horrific.
What signs should people look out for when someone online isn't who they claim to be?
So you talked about like manipulation or people pretending that they're
like that.
First of all, one thing that's very unhealthy on social media, and I will have it with people who watch me, and anybody who's a creator will, something called a parasocial relationship, where people believe that they are more connected to the people they watch than they genuinely are. So, like, if you see somebody who is using a lot of love bombing language, who is maybe deflecting away from certain questions, it's very, like, I would always tell people, like, don't take people for face value on the internet. Whatever they say, whoever they are, they're not your friend, they're not your best mate, they're not your partner, they're not anything like that. These are just people that you would not have met if you weren't scrolling through the internet. Don't put so much into those people. It's alright, like sending a gift or something to somebody you're enjoying and stuff, but if you believe that a creator that you've sent XY gifts to is your friend, they're not. They might enjoy you being in their live space and stuff, but people don't seem to understand that disconnect, and that's when manipulation happens, I think.
How do you handle when people come up to you with heavy stories of their own?
So the first thing, if somebody comes up to me with anything like that, it's always safeguarding first. So it's always, has this been reported? Are you okay? Are you safe? There's people who will message me about various things that will never make it onto social media. Maybe they've reported abuse of some sort. The police haven't taken it seriously, but maybe they didn't know until I've asked, like, have you taken it further? Have you, approached their sergeant? Have you taken it to a complaints procedure? Did you know that you can, was it appeal NFAs after a certain amount of time? There's information people don't realise, so I'll try and do all of that with people before bringing their stuff forward. And then it's about making sure they're okay, because some people, are worried. Even though they want to put something out, they're also worried, like, will people think this of me? Will people think that of me? I really have to make people understand that they might go through all of that sort of thing, and try and protect them as much as possible. And also try, if I can, depending on the thing, to bring things that are in the public domain forward, rather than things that they have like, say you've been in a DV relationship with somebody and they were eventually charged whenever it was, and you want to show me screenshots of messages and all that sort of thing. I would much rather say, well, was it in the paper? Was it in the news? Can we use that? Rather than indicating this person gave me that information. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different for every scenario,
Yeah. Right, so the next subject is a bit of a trigger warning, but I know you've got numbers in the bio.
Yes, we do.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the Zach and Miss Red situation and your opinion on it. So in your honest opinion, do you think you should have sent them photos?
Sorry?
Do you think he should have sent...
Who sent photos? Sorry, Red.
Yeah, when Zach sent those pictures.
Well, I thought we were all concerned at the time that it was obviously. I thought those pictures would have had happened soon, basically, from when they were taken. That was the first concern. Whether this was happening now and stuff like that. And then there was a conversation around potential manipulation and things like that. And then it all happened very quickly with that, where I just thought, like, and I spoke to Zach, and I did bring out certain things and challenge Zach on certain things, not about those, but about these messages about money and all that sort of shit. And it was more or less sort of debunked. I mean, the ladies kind of debunked themselves because of, various bullshit they've said and sort of things like that. As soon as you, within awareness of myself, as soon as I smell bullshit, I walk away from something, because I'm like, well, no, it doesn't add up. With the misread thing, what we talked about earlier on about when hearing somebody bullshitting, and that being like an itch that I need to scratch. That's what that was for me. That was it was not like a personal attack. I mean, like, looking back at obviously the clip, and then obviously everybody was reacting to it. It was going all over the fucking place. It probably came off like that because it was a very matter of a fact of things, and I was trying not to be moved off what I was saying, which was it was like a whole day, because I was with my friends and they were listening to it on their phones, and it was like a whole day where Red was talking about how she'd never manipulated anything behind the scenes, she'd never done all of this, and I'm like, you approached me and asked me to do, you know what I mean, like this not, you're not telling the truth. And that's all it really was. It wasn't supposed to be like this huge mic drop moment or whatever. But yeah.
No, that's a fair enough answer. So what's your go-to coping mechanism when you feel overwhelmed?
My go-to coping mechanism when I'm overwhelmed. To be fair, I what I call is hibernate. Do you know what I mean? I'll just go off. I'll just go off and do my own thing, watch something, chill, do whatever. Various fidget toys all over. Got my favourite one right here with all the different things on. Like, to me, I've sort of been around awareness and a lot of things like this, where it's not necessarily saying like, hey, this person's a this is triggering for me. It's more people, people who may be struggling, or if a victim comes forward that we're triumphing for, and people then attacking them, that sort of thing gets me overwhelmed and upset, and sort of like you lose faith in humanity a bit, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. So the next one, I'm going to make comment. No, I've not got earphones in, is it? Can you hear me now?
I think whenever you've said the questions have been loud enough.
Right. So your next one. This is more like a bit of a personal one, actually. In a minute. What's the most hardest moment you have gone through, and what made you get through it?
I mean, Christ. I mean, this has been very triggering. There's a trigger warning on the screen, and as we mentioned before, in my bio, in my link tree, there are lists for various numbers and organisations to help people. I am going to be talking about my unalive attempt, basically. I'm not going to get too personal to the why and how I felt that way, but that was the worst, the hardest thing I'd ever been for. And if it wasn't just some random guy walking past who grabbed hold of me, I probably may not have been here today. I mean, I'd never say. But it's kind of weird to me, and I speak about it quite often. When you've seen yourself go, or you've planned that you're going to, when you're then not, and you're still here, you kind of, sometimes you feel a bit empty and a bit like, what am I doing? Like, sort of drifting. You get the numbness that comes along with depression and stuff like that. But one of the things I wanted to do, if I was going to be around, if I was going to stick about, was try and do something positive with my time or whatever. So obviously I put the kids first, and then obviously it's stuff I do with the rescue, volunteering with the animals, and obviously the stuff I do on here as well. But I do still struggle with numbness, and I'm in regular therapy and stuff like that. But I talk, and I've been blessed that I can talk about it on here as well, because there are so many people who are going through similar things, or who understand that, and that sort of helps a bit as well, knowing that there's other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what would your advice be for someone that could be listening now that is going through that situation?
You matter. You matter. You matter more than you know to more people than you know, and you also have the potential to matter to people in the future and to get great happiness. With me, I think what led to me trying to do that was I'd become incredibly overwhelmed, and I didn't know what to do. There was a lot going on, and I didn't realise I was autistic at the time, or that this was like burnout, or like extreme burnout, or whatever it is. I've tried dissecting it, and and it all sort of came to a head. But from my experience, it does get better. Things do get better. You've just got to, and also reach out to people, talk to people. It doesn't have to be friends or family. It could be an independent service. I say those links are in my bio and stuff. Like, talking does help. I've been through a few different types of therapy, and each one of them have helped in their own way. So I'd just talk, man. Talk.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering that, and you're still learning everything.
Thank you.
So, hang on a minute. How do you cope with negative comments from trolls?
How do I cope with negative comments from trolls? I fucking love them. Come on. I am a troll. People get really upset about me calling myself that, They go, oh, it's a huge red flag that he calls himself a troll. Alright, dick. Like, I troll wrong-uns, right? I get under their skin. I pee them off. If you've made a post about me or you've been in anger, then I got what I wanted. It's absolutely fine. As far as I'm concerned, I grew up probably being bullied quite a bit, probably not realising that, not everybody thinks the way that I do you know what I mean, and all that sort of stuff when I was a kid and everything. And you kind of learn to give it back, basically. So somebody's going to make a comment at you, you give it back. You also, if you're an overthinker or you're somebody who has a lot of anxiety, you cannot pull me apart worse than I can pull myself apart. So if you think you've got like some witty comment, I've probably already thought about it myself, and I'll normally turn the attention back on them. I mean, I enjoy roasting trolls right back, and I think if you're a good troll, you take the roast and you move on. Do you know what I mean? Too many people give too many attention, and can everybody, honestly, it's the fat freak thing. Fuck me. Every person who calls me the fat freak instead of the fact freak thinks that they're the first fucking person to ever come up with it. It's tragic, some of the attempts, it really is. But no, it genuinely doesn't. But like, trolling doesn't really bother me as far as I'm concerned. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Hang on a minute. So, where is your go-to safe place when you need to reset your batteries?
My go-to safe place is the animal rescue.
Yeah.
That is where I am just, I'm just on my, well, to be fair, I'm not on my own a lot now, but I used to be on my own a lot now. But I train a lot of people there now, but I spend a lot of the time, I get there, I wake up early in the morning, I get in there early, usually I'm there before anybody else, I mean, music on, talking away to the bloody pigeons or some shit, like cleaning stuff out, and it's just, and also there's no fucking signal there. Absolutely no signal. Like, there was one time, I don't know whether it was Delusive or somebody, they were doing a live talking shit about me, and none of the messages, facts, you need to go and watch this, we're getting through. It's just brilliant. Just in there, like, to me, there's a very nice moment that happens most weeks where I've emptied one of the ponds and I've cleaned everything up and I'm refilling the pond. And as I'm refilling the pond, you'll see the ducks or swans or whatever's in there going into the fresh water the first time and shaking around and everything. It's just fucking nice, man. It's just nice and peaceful. So, and I owe the rescue a lot for that because it helps my mental health quite a lot. And I think I'll always do it, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and some animals are better than humans.
All animals are better than humans. Look at all of them.
Exactly. Apart from geese at times.
Well, I've been bitten a few times by a goose. It kind of comes with the territory. It's all right.
Well, how long have you been working with the animals?
About 5 years.
Yeah.
About 5 years. And it's not my job. It's a volunteer. I volunteer there. I wouldn't talk about what my actual job is on here, but I volunteer there on one of my days off during the weekend, and I've done it, I think, about 4 or 5 years, something like that, and I absolutely, honestly, I love it.
Yeah. So, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten off anyone?
Best piece of advice ever gotten off it. It's really cliche. Right? And my dad used to say this all the fucking time. I'm speaking like he's not here, but he's still about. But he gave me this advice, and I always used to think it was a bit weird. Like, I always used to think it's a bit weird, and then maybe it's one of those ones where, like, with age, it kind of makes sense. Don't go to bed mad with people. Make up. Do you know what I mean? Make up and stuff like that. Like, he used to say it all the time. He always used to go, you never go to bed mad with each other. You always, even if the argument's not settled, you still tell whoever, that you still care about them, and, have a good night or whatever and stuff like that. And I think that's always stuck with me. I think it always will.
Yeah. So, just moving back on TikTok now, what is your... I mean, you'll see it all the time on the drama side where people are calling others preds, when you've got people like calling each other dudes and that. What's your take on people using them kind of words?
I think if they're used out of context, I think they're very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think they're extremely dangerous. People calling people pedos when they're not, for example, is very dangerous. I think you sort of draw the line because if you say somebody has predatory intentions or they act predatory or they're a red flag, that's opinion based, and I've done it. I've said that about things that I've seen and said I think, but I wouldn't out and out say you're a predator because of that. Like you can't. To me, the only thing, I mean, I've had plenty of run-ins with the police, as you know, trying to shut me down. But I think the only thing, like legally, you're sort of covering yourself as well, because you don't call somebody something that they haven't been convicted of. It's very difficult. It's the pedo thing for me. It's like people getting called that all the time, or getting called a predator. Like, what does predator mean? Do you know what I mean? We talk about the Miss Red situation, EQ singing, Miss Red's a beast, beast, beast. But that song was originally used to raise awareness about Diageo, who'd been messaging a child. Like, so like the switch up, like, it's all right to call anybody a beast now, and use it in that way just to trigger or create a moment or something. The lines get blurred. I don't agree with that. I think if somebody's convicted of something, or like for example, Brummy Arcade, clear evidence of actually he has been convicted, but if he hadn't been convicted and that exposure had gone on the other day where there was clear evidence of DV, it'd be fine, I think, to say DV Dale or whatever, absolutely fine. But when somebody's just accusing somebody of something when there's no evidence, throwing labels on people is extremely dangerous. And it waters it all down as well.
Yeah, exactly. Right, the next subject I want to talk to you about is Canadian Angie.
People always ask me about Canadian Angie.
I don't really
watch her that much, if I'm honest.
So, obviously she was portraying to be this young woman. Like many people seen the photo slip. Do you think, obviously it's not down to you just to bring awareness, but do you think if it was a man doing that, there'd have been more awareness going out?
I think if she was catfishing to romance scam somebody, or she was catfishing somebody to do something like that, then I understand the outrage. People lying about who they are on the internet to protect their own identity.
Yeah.
Like it's not, there's a guy called Emmy on here at the minute who's been done for raping a child, but people are more worried about, whether, Canadian Angie is who she says she is. I unless I'm missing like a huge thing about it, I don't understand really what the issue is about. Like, because when I first came on the app, I didn't tell everyone what my name was or where I lived. I told people different shit. I mean, obviously the ship sailed with that one now, and I'm absolutely fine with it now. But unless there was something, like I said, like romance scam wise or whatever else, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But I don't know what she was really doing apart from lying that people are annoyed about. But like I say, I might have just completely missed a chapter because it bores me. I've not really watched it, honestly.
I know from many, like when I go around the rooms, the red flags are, she's been known to adopt kids and say things like she's going to hunt, Miss Red's granddaughter.
Well, that's fucking mental, isn't it? That's absolutely fucking mental. Nobody's going to stand with that. But there's not one person on this app that hasn't done something or said something that they regret, myself included. So it's like, do we condemn on it? Like, for example, Red, you were talking about Red. Me and Red follow each other now. We're okay with each other, things like that. You've got to be able to sometimes move. And I think sometimes, because I deal with so many of these offenders, that things like this don't really... to me, I'm just like, right, okay, like, it's horrific. If I was to see a clip of Canadian Angie saying that about Red's granddaughter, maybe I did react to it at the time, but obviously I would say at the time, that's fucking bang out of order, it's fucking weird. Why would you be talking about people's kids? Because you're just basically weaponising people's children, grandchildren, whatever it is, and I wouldn't stand for that. I'd call it out. But I'd call it out and then hope it would not be happening again. If it was then continuing to happen, then you sort of step back from that sort of person, or you've made an opinion then about, all right, okay, so they are okay with it, and that's how they move. So let's not, do you know what I mean? Let's not go along with them.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I just think, when you get a thing about a person, like something's not right, that's just me with that one.
Well, I suppose, I don't know, and when somebody is purposely trying to hide their identity, that is going to make people think like that. So I kind of understand that.
Yeah. So these are going to be quick fire ones now, and I'm going to be named creators, and I want your honest opinion on each one of them.
Fuck.
You ready for this? So the first one is Corey Wilde.
I think he's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
He's an absolute, I think he's a dickhead. He knows he's a dickhead. He leans into it. And, he's gone too far on things before as well, and I've called that out. And I think he can be funny. I think he can be funny. But yeah.
Yeah, alright, Corey. Next one, Alex Brigham.
Alex Brigham's the smartest guy in the world. And do you know how I know Alex Brigham's the smartest guy in the world? Because he tells everybody it every day. I like Alex. I do like Alex. But sometimes he makes me fucking laugh and cringe a bit, because he makes statements where he goes, and the reason EQ doesn't like me is because he knows that I'm so clever that I would work this out. And I'm like, come on, man. It's nice that you're so modest. But no, I think he's alright, man. I think he's funny, but I do think he's been trying to push the envelope with what he's saying, because he knows how to play the system, like a lot of bigger creators to do with views. But as a whole, he's not a wrong end. And I called him out for what he said. That's that. I don't think he said anything like that again. But that seems to be like every couple of months it gets re-brought up, and I think that's got to be a fucking pain for him.
Is that the cross-pace one?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, because he's been brought out again.
Well, it will, because it's just like anything, or if there's something that you've done as a creator, and you are calling somebody out, or you are somebody who also calls people out, then you're probably going to have that shit brought up every time, and that's something you kind of have to deal with or understand. And it wouldn't be getting brought up if it hadn't happened, so there's a little bit of accountability of that as well, but yeah.
Okay, your next one is, I'm going to move it, Delucy.
Absolute waste of I was going to say oxygen, that's a bit harsh. It probably is. There's probably not a lot of clean oxygen to smell in that bedroom. I think she is the most vile creator, or one of the most vile creators on TikTok, maybe on social media as a whole. I think she's absolutely horrific. I think that woman has no morals. I don't think she cares about anybody apart from herself. She is so triggering for people within so many communities, whether it's the disabled community, whether it's survivors of DV, whether it's cancer survivors, or animal lovers or anything like that. She is horrific. She will believe somebody's DV story if they're talking about somebody that she doesn't like. But if it's the other way around, she will then tear the person down, making the accusations. She has members of PLM in her room all the fucking time, Frosty and all of that. She denies that she's ever been in PLM. She clearly was. She clearly was. She clearly is still active with them. I mean, she's good mates with the. She was with Feisty, convicted stalker. She's got all these people like Pineapple and everything like that. The only reason that the whole Pineapple, she flipped on Pineapple, was because it wasn't going to look good for her. But she knew Pineapple had scammed a child's charity, and she was always sitting with him. I watched her and Pearl going at it the other day, talking about Pearl's family member. And she was throwing that into Pearl's face. A year ago, the two of them were coming at me because I was talking about that. And Delusive Angie was violently defending Pearl over this. And now, because they're not friends anymore, the moral switch again. And that's what she is. She's got no morals. She's just a waste of space.
Yeah, 100%. So the next one is Miss Red.
Miss Red's like Alan Partridge. I really like Miss Red, but I like Miss Red when she's losing her shit.
Yeah.
When she's losing her shit and she comes almost like Ricky Gervais in The Office, or like I say, like Alan Partridge says all these like out of pocket stuff, which is kind of cringe but funny. And I don't think she's necessarily a bad person. I don't know whether she expected to be as popular as she is on here and what comes with all of that. But I don't like. Yeah, I think she's all. You know what I mean? I think she's all right. I think she gets made out to be some sort of devil woman, which she isn't.
No. What about CLA?
Well, the racist, the racist. She's, you know, this is the thing. Like we talk about Pearl. Obviously, well, I mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
There's a good reason why Pearl was called out for what she is and why conversations happen. But I have God only knows how many clips of CLA dropping the N slur, you know, saying all sorts of stuff. I mean, how many times has she whapped her baps out? You know, like Tony and Alex Brigham were driving around the UK putting up posters for men doing this on the internet. CLA seems to just like people just sort of skip over it. I also think that just kind of, I mean, I don't know, she fell off. I don't really like, I only see like random cringe clips to sort of say that to me she's got boring, but people, like I say, for some reason she gets a pass for a lot of shit.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, just touching on the racism, man, because you made a good point like Pearl. I mean, she did what she did, you know, and then you've got people that have said the words like we saw a few weeks ago, EQ saying the N word, but there was no outrage to that. I mean, do you think that's fair? Or?
Well, I think there was outrage. Like, I was outraged. I spoke about it. And then I have fucking people going, Fact Freak never speaks about it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think people often put out that narrative of there is no outrage about something when there has been, or when it has been called out, because it suits their narrative to try and make out that people always are getting a free pass and stuff like that. I think the main issue with Pearl, and I mean, I've said so in videos, is that I don't believe until recently, so I'm kind of like changing around on how I feel about Pearl, that I don't believe until very recently that she has taken accountability for what she said and did. What peed me off was that she came out of court singing and dancing in some video, which really isn't what accountability looks like to me, and that led me to make a couple of videos. However, I have seen her speak recently and it seems more like accountability. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's, but you know, it's like what we said about Alex Brigham and the crab paste and all that. This is something that is publicly out there that she said she's being charged for. It's going to keep getting brought up when people are falling out with it. That's just, unfortunately, the way this works.
Yeah. So next one, who do you think is the most fakest person on the app?
The most fakest person? Me. No, well, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I don't think anybody is, I don't think everybody is, like, with me, I started to unmask a lot on TikTok to do my autism and things like that, and being more comfortable with myself, which is great. But I don't think that everybody is their true self. It's just like, you know, when you make a phone call and you hear your phone voice. It's sort of like that, you know, it's sort of like that on the internet. Fake wise, I don't know how you describe fake. You see, for me, I know what you're trying to think of, like people putting on a persona, but to me, like I said, there's a guy called Emmy, M-E-N-E-N-I, sorry, who, you know, trigger warnings are here, guys, raped a child and is on the app making out that everybody bullies them and everybody's horrible to them, and they're just a struggling musician, and they're going to be struggling in that department for a while because they're fucking horrific. But that to me, that's the fakeness that gets to me. Like Jade Palmer, for example, on here trying to lie about various shit. Like
Yeah.
you've got somebody who's convicted of rape, who's trying to call out Elphaba over their transition, who only slapped on a wig after they were convicted of rape and has done nothing to transition themselves, as well as
Right.
being a rapist. Do you know what I mean? So like that sort of fakeness, that's what affects me. Like that comes to my mind more because I kind of expect with FYP posts and all that sort of shit, kind of expect them to be fake in some way.
Yeah. So with the guy that you've just spoken, then I assume it's a guy because
It is.
you know what. So with that, no doubt people will be considering, and we've got some screen recorders in. If you just give his name again, so we can get it out there.
It'll be the official MZ. That's what his account goes under. I have done it on my other account, the Fact Freak 4. There's a playlist for him, so you'll be able to get information from that as well. But it would honestly, it would shock you how many people are on here like that, and they're the fakeness I'm worried about. I mean, like, look at Brummy Kid trying to convince everyone that he's just a nice guy, that he's gone through all this, but yet we've seen the bruises on his, on his victim. We've seen his charge sheet. We've seen all that sort of stuff, but that sort of fakeness is what, like, what gets to me and what I try and break through as well, the awareness, you know what I mean? Highlight their bullshit.
Yeah. One other creator I would like to mention is what's your thoughts on Just Nana, especially right now?
Just Nana? I don't know who the...
Oh, you don't know?
I know that was she like Delusive's mate? No, she's not.
Yeah, I think she was a mod and now she's gone on her own, but you've got Delusive that's constantly bullying her. And then last night, I don't even see you had Canadian that was playing old clips of where she spoke about her trauma, which was quite stinging to everyone. Because I know it's out there already.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Like, I mean, I can't, like, I'm not going to comment on something I haven't seen, but but I'm not surprised that that Delusive Angie's going hard for somebody who's walked away from her, because people who act like narcissists and things like that, obviously, they can't be wrong, can they? They can't be wrong. Yeah. She likes to be surrounded by yes people, hence why her fan club is called the Cult, which is literally mindless people who follow people without questioning. That's literally what a cult is. It's very on the nose what she's like, so I'm not surprised that she's going for this woman. Do I know who she is? No, not really. I think people expect me to be amongst more of the drama than I am. I tend to just see what I see when I'm doing my blind reactions, and then that's sort of it. But yeah.
What about the new Dan that's on Toxic Dan?
Toxic Dan. I mean, he's funny. He's funny as well. He can be very funny. He's obviously got a bit of a past. Did I email the court and ask for his ask for his charges and everything? Yes, I did. I don't think he's lying about the charges. Let's put it that way. But you don't know you don't know really the truth of what actually happened. But like, I just look at some of these creators I'm scrolling through. Oh, that's funny. I mean, a clip of him dancing around dressed as God only knows what and everything. It's quite funny. I did watch a bit of Pearl and Dan yesterday and was like, when the fuck did these two become a double act? Which was quite funny. And I think the clique needed people who were more edgy. Needed more edgy people around them who were going to push barriers and say, oh, so fuck, I'm just going to say this, that and the other, because that's what the clique didn't have, really. That's not what they had. So Alex has been trying to do that by pushing boundaries. Then obviously him as well, and then obviously Corey. He's like clique adjacent, isn't he, or whatever.
Yeah. Very good double act when they're together, Corey and Alex. To be fair. Who adopts the child?
Who did?
But that's another subject. Right, what's your thoughts on when people are doxing?
Doxing. Right, so people get confused a lot about what doxing is, first of
Yeah.
all, and the legalities of doxing. First of all, it is not illegal, pardon me, to dox people in the UK. It is in other countries like the US, but it's not illegal to dox. Now, doxing is sharing private information. So if I can, you know, for example, if I had a Facebook open with James Hope, which is my name, obviously everyone fucking knows, right? And then you went on it and it was open and you could see, I don't know, a picture of me with an otter somewhere, I don't know, fucking random picture of an otter, and I was giving it some shit, right? And then you brought that to TikTok and went, look, there's a factory called an otter a twat. I couldn't then be like, oh my god, that's doxing, because it's in the public domain. It's in the public domain, and people bring stuff that's in the public domain forward, and then people call it doxing. I think it comes around the conversation where people should understand a little bit more about security and locking their shit down, and protecting themselves. And doxing is a power move. That's all it is. It's done to intimidate. You know, obviously my address, Feisty found my address. She sent it in messages to a guy with a wig. And then obviously we know what happened after that. So it becomes like a power move, people trying to intimidate you. We know where you live. We know what you are. And quite frankly, if you give them the attention and the reaction that they want, then they've won too. So it's best off to just be like, right, okay, yeah, so what? Do you know what I mean? Like, just sort of try not to give, you know, try not to give that reaction that they want, basically.
Yeah. So obviously you all do the awareness and the exposure. So on that side, who's the biggest wrong-uns right now that people should watch out for?
Who's the biggest wrong'un?
Oh, there's a collective of them.
I was going to say this is quite difficult, really, because there's quite a lot of people. I mean, that Irish FYP guy, he's fucking horrific. He was horrific. Those messages, reading those messages out, that was absolutely wild. Brummy Arcade, I think he's a danger, and I'm worried about his current partner. I'm trying to I mean, obviously, like Delusive Angie and the like, I think that goes without saying. Obviously, I've talked about that official MZ who raped a child, who's on here. There's other people that have best to go on to the Fact Freak 4, go on my awareness playlist. I mean, there was a guy who's been done for indecent exposure. He's on the app at the minute, streaming with young kids in the box and stuff like that. Jade Palmer, yes, chat, Jade Palmer, you know, convicted rapist. The crime scene was so horrific, they were originally charged with attempted murder, and they're on the app trying to tell everyone, you know, and they're celebrating that their victim has since passed. You know what I mean? Diadro. Anybody who's used slurs, any sort of slurs or anything like that, racial slurs, everything like that. Holly Stanley, I'm not sure if they're still on the app. Alphabet, well, yeah. I mean, like, it just, people need to really sort of just don't fucking trust everybody to be whatever. If you see somebody who is a wrong'un, stop interacting with them. Luke Martin's another one. He's absolutely horrific. You know, people often hate watch on this app, and that includes, you know, it's so frustrating. I can do an exposure, like say I do an exposure on Luke Martin, right? Who's a vile creature. He screamed about raping women. I'm gonna, you know, I hope you get pinned down and all this sort of shit. I do a live exposure on anybody, even somebody like him, and I can guarantee his followers will go up. Because even though people are like, oh, they're wrong and they want to watch, because to some, I don't know what it must be, whether they think like it's fucking drama, like, oh, let's see what his clapback is or whatever else it is. And it's like, no, this guy has been arrested multiple times and has said he hopes women get raped. And you're following to see, oh, I wonder what crazy shit he'll say next. It happens all the time. I can talk about anybody, and you're guaranteed their followers will go up. before they come down, unless you start calling people out, which I have done before. Like I've gone after gifters and things like that, made things uncomfortable for people. But the app's built around the fact that you don't, like, you're scrolling. So if you scroll into Brummy, our kid's live, for example, and you've never seen the twat before in your life, and you scroll in and he's got his fake tears going, he's saying everybody's bullying on me, you might look at him and go, shit, the poor lad, what's he been going through?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know who they are and how they're presenting at the time. If you just take it for face value, then, you know, when you suddenly come across an awareness video on them, you'll go, shit, what? No? You're like, that's strange. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
No, I mean, that's good you've given names, because, like, there'll be a lot of new people on the app. There's new people all the time, and, like myself, I've never been round the drama top of the app long. I was on the book top side.
All right.
So it's good to know the names of, you know, these runners and who to look out for. You know what I mean?
Well, in my link tree on my bio, there is a part called the Deep Dive Files, and that is a Google Drive of, you know, it's all listed, the creators' names, and you go in and the files in there are titled, and I mean, it's, you know, all the drama people as well, stuff that may have been said or done, as well as obviously exposure stuff like that. So I do try and make these things publicly available as well, that people can download the videos yourselves, make awareness content out of them. I'm not bothered. It's all more awareness and stuff.
And I'm definitely going to look at them. It's handy to know that. So, last question. For everyone here today, if you had to give everyone a piece of advice, what will it be?
Well, it's very cliche. It's okay not to be okay. And that doesn't mean just your mental health as well. It's okay to be wrong about things. It's all right to, you know, I think everyone needs to take more time for themselves. I think everybody needs to acknowledge the fact that everybody is human, as in you are not perfect. And with that becomes a lot of personal growth. And you should, my advice to people as well would be, if you can do something to help people, if you can do something to help people, or you can do something to put something positive in the world, even if it's just like, you know, a TikTok video or something like anything that you're like, oh, might make people laugh or spread some positivity, then I encourage you to do it, because you will feel better as well. You will feel better, and you will also know that you have made somebody else feel better. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of power in that, and I really encourage that. Well,
Mr. Fatfeet, thank you so much for your time tonight.
My pleasure.
I'm sorry we had a bit of a muffled start, but thank you for your time, and thank you, chat, as well, for being here.
No, it's all right. You've been absolutely awesome. Who you interviewing next?
So my next one is Alicia on Wednesday, and then Just Nana.
Oh.
And then next Sunday, Miss Red.
Oh, shit. That's some big people there. You're going to have fun with that. I might watch the Just Nana one, find out who the hell this person is. I
think it'd be worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for popping in.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
I'll catch you later, alright?
See ya, bye. How do I take myself?
I'll get you, don't worry. That was good, wasn't it, chat? That felt a bit cathartic, that. Felt like I've just done a therapy session. Jesus. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, I wanted to answer every question I could and be honest with you guys, so you know exactly how I feel. But I've just been to therapy. It was great. It was absolutely great. I am going to fuck off, though. I'm going to head off. I hope you all have a good rest of your evening. Get some good sleep. Get a little snack, man. Nobody's going to know. I'll be back on tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for our reactions, as always. You guys are friggin' awesome. Katie, thank you. Anyone who sent any gifts while I was waffling on, sorry, thank you. Anybody who sent anything, appreciate you all. And I will see you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. See you tomorrow night. Have a good rest of the evening, guys. Peace.